So for the demonstrations, I'm going to be kind of reading through what we're going to be doing in the demonstration, and then we're going to be doing the demonstrations. So for this demo, we're going to be using our templated project folders to create a new project folder. We're then going to identify the sections that we just looked over. We won't really do that because we did it in our catalog. We'll look at creating a new file geodatabase within this project folder, within the data folder of the project folder. So this file geodatabase is essentially a container which will then store our point feature class, which we'll then create for the next demo. All right, so let's jump into the demonstration. I'm gonna keep the demonstration steps on the side, so if we have any questions, we can kind of follow along with what we're doing. And so for this example, like I had mentioned, I'm going to be working out of multi-team. So GIS, teams, multi-team, and then 2020. So what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to be copying the template folder structure and then pasting it into 2020 and then giving it an appropriate date and name. All right, so let's 02/27, today's date, and I'm going to call it basic map creation training. All right. And to be aware, I have fat fingers, so I will probably make typos while we are doing this presentation. So, as we saw before, the folder structure is standardized with documents and then GIS, data, exports, and MXDs. So for the next step, we're going to be creating a new file geodatabase within the data folder. So for this, I'm going to be right-clicking onto the data folder, going down to New, and then File Geodatabase. So this File Geodatabase is Esri's kind of folder structure for everything Esri data related. So you can store multiple points, lines, and polygons within this File Geodatabase. So I created it, and now I'm going to rename it. So I just kind of double left-clicked onto the name, and now I'm going to rename it. It's always good to give both your file geodatabases, your project folders, your MXDs, or all of these, and your data appropriate names so that when you're looking back to it a month, 6 months, 2 years from now, it makes sense just at a high level view. You don't have to dive deep into your data to figure out, what is this? Because then you hate yourself. It's just not good. All right, so we created a new file geodatabase, and now we're going to quickly create a new point feature class within this geodatabase. So I right-clicked onto the new geodatabase that I created, went to New, Feature Class. So now I'm going to name the feature class Training Points. I always like to copy the name into the alias. The alias is what you'll see in your table of contents in your MXD. I always like them to be the same. When you don't copy it, it adds a little bit of the SDE format to it. I'm going to now change the type of the feature class to a point, and I'm going to ignore these properties down here. I'm going to go to Next. I'm now going to select the coordinate system for this point data set, and I'm going to choose NAD 83 State Plane, Colorado Central. I'm going to accept the defaults for this one, and I'm going to accept the defaults for this one. Now I get the option to set up attributes or the data that I want to maintain about these points. I'm just going to do some really basic attributes, just a GIS ID. I choose the field name there, and then the type of the field. I'm going to choose a long integer, and then just a notes field. So it's really just a really basic feature class or point data set. And then, so I choose notes, and it's a text field, and I change the length to 150 characters.